the dreams and nightmares must light your way. What may come, the fight goes on for one more day. Whenever lives and prayers must die away, who brought this curse and led us all astray? The day has died and emotion is vain. Wake up, my friends, the dreams and nightmares will die for just one more day.
All right. So welcome back, guys.
Yay.
Destiny.
Yep. That is one of the things for how I wanted to open up the session with tonight. So apparently I did too well at being obtuse and confusing in regards to the Prophet of Freedom. So I wanted to clarify any particular questions that you guys may have come up with for like what the fuck all of that was. Yeah. So like did anybody have any particular points, or do you want me to just like do as best as I can for the summary without spoiling future nonsense?
Let's go with that one.
Okay. So the gist of it is, remember how I said that, like, and this was a thing that was off camera, so for the sake of you that are listening into this, there are certain rules that were put into this world when the multi-universal wormhole caused this existence to happen, right? Things like why the cities that you're in, like Steel, oh dear, I'm clicking on bad things. You know, like Steeldale and Emerald Brook and Sacratoma and all that. Why this place is stuck in the 90s is because reality was trying to salvage what it could of what amounts to genres and bits of history and all of that jazz. But if you think about it, since a lot of this world is based on narrative rules, there are some rules that are mutually exclusive. So the Prophet of Freedom was the conflicting rule between a fate-driven story or absolute freedom of choice. And you guys were given two resources that I did. Yes, I randomly rolled up, and if I wanted to be perfectly fair, then yes, I should have just given an equal number of each. But I'm an asshole. So I rolled for how much you got of which. And you guys relied on fate more than well, really, you relied on fate as many times as you relied on the free will option. But because you were going to use all of the fate stuff first, that's why and that's going to get into one of the things that your characters now feel about this world, because as divine creatures, again, you're very connected to everything. And so from this point on, you guys, you know that you have the ability to influence things. You are not a slave to fate, but you know that there is, like, that just like how the prophet felt weird and felt alien and did not feel like it was supposed to be a part of this world, you have the feeling about this as well. You know that even while you have the autonomy to, still make your own choices and whatnot, there is destiny now. And at that same moment, you guys have also feel like that whole like the quickening thing where you can feel another divine presence and all that jazz. You felt like a sudden surge of it before it faded away, and you realized that it was a little bit further away, and it dissipates and such. Anyway, so what I wanted to ask is, were there any other questions about the fallout of all that nonsense?
I don't believe so.
And Emily, if you're asking anything, you're still muted.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. All right, so since that was a hell of a pause, all right, so we're picking back up where we were. Jimmy, I know you were asking us, and I believe we were on year 7 of you guys building your religion around yourselves.
Hey, we don't have Kool-Aid, so it's not a cult.
Chloe has
How
been...
do you know if we don't have Kool-Aid?
I have not purchased any Kool-Aid. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying we don't have any.
And yeah, Chloe's been out in the woods with a bunch of fucking hippies and a goddamn compound. I mean, she is fucking one cup of grape Kool-Aid away from pushing that limit.
Well, that's why we need to make sure she doesn't get Kool-Aid.
Oh, so you guys are now denying her Kool-Aid. Oh, that's true. That's true. Myriad has that school. What do you think that they drink with their lunches? Chocolate milk? Fuck no. Grape Kool-Aid. Mind control nanobots. Until she says otherwise, that's the headcanon I'm going with, and Myriad is now going to be very morally compromised. So we're moving
We're
on now.
not doing mind control nanobots.
They were shaped like penises.
That would not actually be, faith.
Anyway. So. Oh shit, Emily's typing. Alright, moving on. So you guys have been working on your stuff. And here's where I'll admit I kind of forgot what we did in the last couple of rounds. I remember the Digger was having to do some damage control, and he was starting to train his cadre of frickin' monster hunting crusaders.
Hi.
Well, those that stuck around.
Yeah, he still has like 10 guys that he's gonna go train to hunt monsters underground. Like, you are the vanguard. You will start this shit. And we're just, okay. Diggers,
And I started recruiting Pathfinders myself.
which are functionally priests.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Okay. Oh, great. Jimmy's starting the Pathfinder Society. This isn't a D20 system.
I've never played that game, so...
Not getting into it. Alright, so... So I guess I want to go through what is the next year of your guys' endeavors going to be, and We're going to go in reverse order this time instead of having Chloe always start with the shenanigans. We're going to start with Digger. How are you doing anything besides just kind of maintaining what you were up to and now training your monster crusaders?
Honestly, I think what he's got going right now is pretty good. I think I just need to maintain what I got for right now for at least another year or so.
Okay. So this is where there is a particular thing that would come up. You know, since it's been a little bit since the bloodbath and all that.
Bloodbath and Beyond.
Yep. When you went and purged fucking Sacratoma of organized crime forcibly. So there are some people who, and these are some notable politicians even, who are pretty much saying like, while we appreciate the fact that Sacratoma is probably the safest that it has been in a long time, at the same time, the city is currently all three of our cities are covered in a blanket of fear. There is someone who has been preaching the teachings of this tunnel snake and has been inspiring our disenfranchised to extreme violence, vigilantism, going around the law. And as a society, we need to be beholden to our laws. And so, in short, there's being a lot of political pressure being put onto the Digger's evil one. There's a lot of political pressure being put on Digger and the people that Digger helped from the police. Okay, let me rephrase that. Sorry. There is a lot of political influence on the police to do better at actually enforcing the law, even though these actions were helpful. Yes, anti-vigilantism. They are being pushed that you need to be holding these people accountable for what they did. And while there's some of the police force who are kind of dragging their feet with it, like, oh yeah, I will get right on that. There are some of them who believe that is correct, and there are others where it's like, well, they were doing my job and blah 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 blah, and it's a matter of pride or whatnot. And so that is a potential complication Digger might have to address. Not necessarily immediately, but this is a movement that is definitely starting to pick up some additional traction.
Well, we already have kind of been moving on that.
A little bit, yeah.
Because part of the things I've done previous years to try and get people then off the street, so they're out of these situations and therefore don't have to continue relying on vigilantism.
Yes.
And start focusing instead on just peaceful methods. So.
Yep. So anyway, since Digger's largely just maintaining what he's doing, which one do you think is probably the biggest focus, or at least the thing that would take most of his time, between trying to help teach people, help them develop life skills, etc., or helping rescue people from their shitty situations in the first place, or training your crusaders?
Honestly, the crusaders right now probably take precedence because before it was that he was trying to expand some of his outreach stuff to the other two places, but that's the thing. If I let the Crusaders go at this point, they're gonna probably backslide, and more violence will happen. And especially if people are now putting pressure on it, he needs to get them focused on, what's important.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the Crusaders are probably kind of the focus right now for this point in time.
Well, not only that, but the whole thing of getting people to safety could technically fall on Toby's people as well. Now that Digger's focusing on his Crusaders.
It could be.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I'm going to have you roll then is you're going to go ahead and roll fight since you're teaching them to fight, and all that jazz. And I'm going to give you a target of 2 because generally speaking, this isn't going to be too difficult. These were already the people that were at least capable in that regard. You're just teaching them how to fight things that are, well, monsters, functionally.
Alright,
Hey,
let's roll fight.
fuck up. Sweet. So how do you imagine that roll going?
Well, this whole thing. Honestly, I think we scout the deep places of the earth. And Digger is kind of giving some instruction on what he knows about different forms of things that live underground and are monstrous. He explains where monsters come from, We recap that. So when people die, and you don't properly administer their last rites, the soul tends to get stuck. And it gets angry. And then it tends to turn that anger into a more physical form. So, and at that, he kind of takes the monster hunting. He teaches them what signs to look for, how to figure out when something is going very wrong, and then how to kill it. I think at some point in that, he also probably has to go to take them to Chloe to be taught the little sending ritual thing.
Okay. Okay, so we can go ahead and call that good there. So what about for Myriad? She has recently started up a school. She's got her little R&D thing. Is she also going to be kind of just solidifying what she's got, or do you have further expansions planned for your stuff?
Mostly I do plan for her to continue furthering what she has. However, she is going to invent something new just to keep her on top of the tech industry and stuff like that, so that people continue to want to work with her and to help her kids and her workers invent things. So beyond that, she is doing a lot more focusing on the dogma.
Okay, so I didn't mean to stop that. Alright. So in short, yes, you're large. You're going to invent another thing, but beyond that, you are just kind of filling out what you've got.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which one is, just like Josh, which one's the main focus? Is it... Go ahead.
I guess that depends on how hard it is to continue being on top of the tech industry.
You're seeing... you said that she is the one who's largely running all of the R&D stuff. Well, kind of. Is she going to do it, or are you going to do what you did last time, where you just went through your R&D department and started blessing them with the spark of ingenuity?
So last time I was blessing them. This time I want her to make something so that people will, see her as, this great inventor again. Like, it's been a while since she's made something that made any splashes. She doesn't want to fade into the background immediately.
Yeah, I get that. So, is she still the one running the whole thing? Like, is it her personally, or has she actually delegated some of the responsibility out?
She's delegated some of the responsibility, but like, she's still, the head, if that makes sense. CEO.
Okay, so it's not difficult because, like, most of the classes and stuff you said were, that's functionally it's volunteer teachers, and you're just kind of maintaining the cost of the facilities and all that jazz. And so you would have that would have been something to delegate an administrator for. So most of your stuff is fairly self-sufficient with just a few people. So it's not difficult to stay on top of it, but that does mean then you're relying on other people. So you have to make a decision. Which one are you going to be? Which one is her focus? Is it on trying to come up with something new and whatever? Or is it on trying to make sure that stuff is going the direction she wants it?
I guess going another year before making something wouldn't be so bad, because she just made the school last year. She does need to make sure it is going on the right track.
Okay. So then, what we'll do is we'll have you go ahead and I want to say either probably just resources, because it's literally you're just dealing with resource management at that point, trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly.
Okay.
And we're going to say your target number is 2.
Okay.
Not a hard roll. Hey, you made it. Cool beans. So do you want to get into what the roll means, or are we just kind of going to gloss over it? Since
So, she's just verifying and making sure that all of the scholarships and whatnot are working the way they were meant to be. And she is just making sure she's there if there's an emergency or something unexpected crops up, because during the first year, that's when most things tend to fail within the first year of being made.
Okay. Toby.
Honestly, I think this is just going to be another maintenance year, and continuing with the schmoozing.
Okay. So, administration of your facilities or schmoozing? Which one's going to be? Which one's the focus? Because the some of the flack that's going towards Josh's stuff is technically also pointed at you a little, just because, well, you've been, you know, a lot of your stuff involves transients, homeless people, again, the poor and the disenfranchised, and those were the people that in another city went fucking ballistic on all the organized crime. So no one's like actually giving you a hard time or anything, but for better or for ill, you do know that there's people that are pushing that there should be more police presence at your places.
You know what? I will focus on maintaining the facilities. I will hire off-duty police officers, as security, just to kind of appease the public.
They would have to be private security because police officers are not allowed to be hired as a private thing.
All right, private security.
Legally, I mean, come on now.
No, I'll do.
Let's have a bunch of. We need to up our security, so let's get a bunch of easily bribable police officers. That'll be fine.
Yeah, that won't hurt the image at all.
Those technically exist. They're called peace officers. They're legally police. They're legally police, but you hire them on contracts.
So I will hire peace officers.
Yes, but at the same time, they're not part of an active police precinct.
No, I know, and so that's what I will do.
Yeah, and that is one thing. Like, that it is a very important distinction to make, even though, like, legally speaking, it's such a fine, it's such a fine line, but it's an important line. Okay, so trying to contract some of this stuff out. Then you're going to roll a rapport again. It's not. Well, I'll leave it up to you. Rapport or resources? Resources will be a lot easier. Rapport would okay, let me rephrase that. Resources will have a much lower target number, but your rapport skill is significantly higher. So are you trying to just open a contract and just pay for it? Or are you going to try and do it as a almost pro bono, good PR thing?
I'll just roll resources and see how it goes.
So you're just going to pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay, so just a standard kind of contract thing. Okay, so your target number is going to be a 2.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, shit, you fucked up.
Hang on, let me open my character sheet.
You went to the bank account and it read -$7 million. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I reroll rapport with having a plan is important, and when that fails, there's always 25 other letters to fall back on?
That begs a good question, Josh. When you drop a fate point to an aspect for a reroll, I don't remember if it like. Do you just reroll the same skill, or are you allowed to pick a different skill?
You're re-rolling the roll you made.
Damn it.
So you'd be re-rolling resources again.
All right, I'll still do
I mean,
it.
either way, you're still getting a reroll, which just don't fuck up this time.
Yeah, that still sucks.
Okay, so you can choose to succeed.
It
You can
takes.
choose to succeed anyway and get a consequence, or you can just say, or you can just we can just define how it didn't work.
Oh, let's just go with it didn't work.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just say that the only people here you go. I have an idea for how this went then. If unless you want to handle it.
I honestly don't know. I was thinking that the possibility of hiring peace officers kind of just upset the homeless people.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. That's close to what I was thinking. Just news got out that that's what you're going to go do, and so then the immediate PR backlash from it was the selfless guy who's been going and spending so much money on these people. Does he suddenly not trust them anymore? Is he caving to the politicians? And because there was no that just right now there's no there's no company that wants to tackle that hot mess of an issue. That's why even though you have the money, no one wanted to.
Yeah, we're not touching that with the 10-foot clown pole.
Exactly. They're like, oh, we'll take it at like 4 times the standard contract rate. And you're like, that's just, we can't do that. That's not reasonable. So, and over the course of the year, you keep trying, just nothing happens with it.
Yeah, I think next year I'm gonna switch tactics.
All right. So bindweed, the demi goddess who walks the earth and makes trees do things and friggin' destroys farmer market economy. So what are you doing? That's kind of where the pause was meant to like be trying to coax you into. What's going on, yo?
Fuck, I don't know. Like, let's see, we got two new locations.
Mm-hmm.
Food is growing like gangbusters, obviously. Money's being
It's growing from the gangbusters because you turned them into fertilizer. Remember?
the secret fertilizer. I mean, you're supposed to be funneling money into environmental initiatives as well,
Mm-hmm.
and encouraging people to get out there and clean stuff up. Still, of course, preaching the tenants.
Okay. So what are you gonna roll here then for what are you? Which one is being Chloe's personal focus? What is she being the most directly involved in?
Hmm. Fuck.
I know, ask the hard questions. I just
Yeah.
dropped it out of nowhere.
I don't know. Probably the I'm gonna leave the money things up to some money people, but maybe more of that getting out there and cleaning things up. You know, getting personally involved in the help in the environment.
Okay. So since at that point you're trying to get people invested in it, that I would say you're probably going to need to roll a rapport.
Okie dokie.
Well, and at risk of being redundant, I'm going to say we're going to give it a target 2, just because it's not exactly difficult to be like when you're standing in my presence, you know for a fact that I am greater than a mortal, and here I am with my pointy stick picking up fucking styrofoam cups because you all need to be better people.
And by pointy stick, it's an actual pointy stick that extends from your arm. In
Exactly.
fact, there are several. They spread out.
Yeah, I got branches and arms and pointy sticks.
Alright, so make your roll.
Okay, wait. We're still going with rapport, or was this?
Yeah.
Shifted?
Since you're trying to convince people, to get involved with it. Oh, hey, look, you didn't fuck up.
Hooray!
Damn it.
So, how well do you think that this approach is being taken over the course of things?
Well, I mean, with the 3, it's probably still mostly just commune people. But it's getting out there. People are paying attention. Some of them are doing their part, or some people who were already inclined anyway are maybe doing more. Of course, there are some hiccups, like every once in a while someone will throw something out a car window, and Chloe will start to chase them down the highway.
Bette Midler style from The Simpsons. Tea, please.
But she's trying to keep things, keep everyone from being like from changing their mind and going, oh my god, we should be afraid. So most of the time she gets herself back under control. Most of the time, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Though that might also inspire some of the less peace-minded folks to also take up their own arms. I don't know. Maybe.
All the arms, all 16 of the arms.
Or at least start thinking about it. So that might be going on too. It's probably going on. I'm gonna go with is going on since I get to narrate this.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna say like it started a full-blown movement or anything, at least not yet. But that idea has also been put out there.
All right. So at this point, we're at the end of year 8. Then you guys have been working in tandem, at least off the public screen, for most of a decade at this point.
Right.
So what I wanted to do is I want to just wrap it up to the end of this next decade. And just, excuse me. What I want to know is, by the end of this 10-year stretch, I guess this last 2-year stretch is probably the better way of phrasing it. Where is it that you want your guys' goals to be?
Are we going to go around the table or just kind of open?
Oh, we can just open discussion it.
I want a
What-
church. Can I say that?
Like a church to Myriad or a church to all of you guys?
All of us. I don't know, I just thought that was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of the goal.
So I guess two questions that really come to mind then for that is well, first of all, which city do you guys want it even to be put into? And are any more of you going to come out as a divine creature and whatnot? Like, be like, hey, this is me, I've been here all along, kind of thing, before that.
Digger probably would.
I suppose the transit might as well.
I won't come out as, Maricel is Myriad, but I would come out at, like, Myriad coming to, I don't know, maybe bless the school or something.
Yeah, and I guess that's the clarifying thing. Are you giving up your human personas, or your mortal personas, I should say, to say, hey, here I am, yada yada, or are you going to maintain those and do the other thing?
I'm still trying to figure out if I want to link the two.
Yeah, that's functionally what I'm asking. Like, are you going to do that or not? So that is the big question at the moment.
Yeah, for me, the answer is no. I am not going to link my two characters. Or sorry. Two characters isn't quite the right words, but I'm not going to link them. Yes. I feel like if she came out as Myriad, it wouldn't go over so well with the tech people as Chloe coming out as Blue Bindweed would.
Why is that?
There's a lot of competition in the tech industry, and coming out after this long of I am this god is a lot of people would be like, well, no wonder, blah blah blah. And probably there to any competitors or anything, there would probably be a lot of backlash and a lot of upsetness. I feel like.
Actually, I think I'll keep mine separate as well, just because I think if Digger's gonna, Josh, are you gonna have Digger come out completely, or are you gonna do the separate personas?
I think Digger would reveal to his followers. I think he'd still try and keep himself on a low, like the tunnel snake is in the tunnels. He does not come to the surface.
Well, because my thinking was that if I linked the two personas, then people could connect Mari to hers, since we're all kind of intertwined.
That's a point.
So that's why I'm thinking I'm going to keep mine separate as well.
I'm trying to figure out if that was a question or a statement, and I'm not sure where like.
No, I'm gonna keep mine separate as well. It wasn't a question.
Okay. So we've got Mari keeping her separate, Toby keeping his separate, Digger. Which way was Digger going? I'm sorry.
Digger was revealing his divinity to his followers, but otherwise kind of keeping the fact there's a god. Well, yeah, keeping the fact there's a god underneath the streets of the city, in the tunnels, kind of a secret. Like he
Doesn't that kind of defeat the point of spreading your religion, though?
Not really. It emboldens your followers. But at the same time, we have that whole that political game playing out right now.
Well, but that's what I'm. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't. So you're not going. The only people that are going to be in the know that yes, Digger, the tunnel snake Digger is actually a thing, are going to be just his followers.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that works. And so what? But Mari Sal is, or Myriad, sorry, is going to pretty much just show up and be like, "What up? I'm a thing, and I'm here, and I'm here with my potato bind." Right? Same means it.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, she's gonna come out. She's gonna like make an appearance. You know, like I said, go through and actually just bless the school, bless the kids, bless you know, people.
Okay. And so when Transit comes out as the whole, hi, by the way, Scion of Doorways and Portals and the Underground Railroad, how's it going? What is he just gonna kind of like just show up and wave and say, hi, I'm here? Or what is he going to be doing with that over the course of those 2 years?
I See, I didn't even think that part out. Damn it. I don't know how he would announce himself.
What would he be doing?
Well, I know I had upcoming plans to open, because I know there's only one women's shelter right now, but I was going to open 2 more in each of the cities. So maybe he showed up to kind of bless those and the other women's shelter. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that works. So, is that what you want to do then?
Yes, I'll just go ahead and do that.
Okay. For the life of me, I can never find which page the friggin' skills are on in the book. Bothers me. Bothers me a lot.
Bookmarks.
I'm using the bookmarks. Oh, default skill list. There it is. Fucking goddamn it. Anyway. So, what I'm going to have you guys do... Well, actually, there's the one other big question that needs to be addressed. How is it you're going to go about trying to inspire people to actually build this church? Or are you going to just functionally bankroll it yourselves through your mortal personas? Alternatively, is Myriad just going to show up and say, I'm just going to divine invent a giant freaking thing while Bindweed grows stuff to make it eco-friendly? Computers built into the fucking trees.
I guess
She'll totally do
like
that.
a big question is how much the us showing up has inspired people to believe and to worship. How much faith do we have? Do we have enough faith for a church? Sorry.
You don't require a certain amount of faith to build a church in the first place. The church itself is a structure. I mean, as far as having people to go and do the whole preaching your guys' teachings and all that jazz, Toby's kind of already taken care of half of that, and Digger's been working heavily on the other half in regards to like people that are within the cities to do so. But all 4 of you do have a fairly, well, I should say 3 of you have a fairly devout following. Of those 3, 1 has, well, 2 have fanatic followings. And like honestly, in regards to like, if there's one of you that has less people who would be likely to be a clergy, it's probably Myriad. But at the same time, you don't... Because of what your focus is at like as your purviews, you also are kind of like more efficient at turning a little bit of faith into the same amount of power. You don't because you're the demigoddess of design and innovation and stuff like that, right? You're like when somebody comes out with an invention, they don't have to go and say, "I did this through the power of Myriad and then her blessing and da da da." You don't require that level of zealotry, really. For her, as long as people aren't being inspired by her tenets and they know that that's, they're aware of that, she's able to turn that into quite a bit of power, and so she's pretty much getting just as much as everybody else is. She would still be, people that say the Pathfinder is an example, like they're still getting, since they've been being taught the Pantheon as a whole instead of just transit stuff, they're functionally preachers for all of you. I guess probably the better way of putting it is they're preachers for all of you. They just answer to transit, if that makes sense.
And that's exactly what I wanted. Long-term indoctrination.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, if we did build a church, how many people were actually, starting to be believers and would actually, fill the church.
Are you gonna do some surveys and census data, or are you just gonna build the church and see how many people show up or donate to its construction?
I think there's a phrase, build and they will come.
Cassie, that's for adult video stores.
Oh my.
There's a but. Anyway. So, I mean, which way are you guys wanting to probably angle that? Just, build it and then go with it? And then, see what happens? Or are you going to try to crowdfund some of the construction costs? I mean, I know that's largely a thing in the 2000s, since half of the region is running on dial-up.
I don't mind bankrolling some of that.
So not to crowdfund it?
Obviously, bankrolling is not probably a big thing that's going to happen on Bindweed's end, but materials, or again, just growing the fucking structure for everyone is quite within the realm of possibility.
I can also help build. I can make tunnels.
That is true. Like, realistically speaking, it wouldn't.
What is a tower but a tunnel on its side?
Well, that, and you have the terraform thing. You're functionally a fucking earthbender as a snack. You're an earthbending danger noodle, and you have a fucking pothead over there who can grow whatever the fuck she wants, and she can also change the nature of whatever the hell it is that she's growing. I mean, like, let's be honest, she can develop she can grow semi-sentient plants. She's able to, like, the superhero version of her, which is way less powerful. Oh, okay, that's debatable. But point is, a Whomping Willow kind of a thing, or the hentai plant, this is some serious alterations to whatever the fuck it was, especially since she could be throwing dandelion seeds and grow those. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that you guys, using your powers, could literally just be like, on this date, we just to try and make it as legal as possible. Yes, we have the building plans, and these are the plans we're going to follow and whatnot. And then Chloe's like, I don't like plans. And then they glare at her like, okay, fine, I'll follow the plans. And then they like show up on this day, and within an hour, the Church of the Vanguard will be built. And people are like, really?
So.
And then Now, on that day, fucking Myriad and Transit and Bindweed and Digger show up, and Bindweed and Digger just like, we got this. Throw their hands out, and just over the course of like 15 or 20 minutes and shit, just grow and earthbend this structure into place. You just like manipulating the stone and friggin' support beams and all of that crap.
But also, working with Myriad to, put artificial lights within the trees that will grow with them and won't actually damage them. They are biodegradable.
Yeah.
But to make it, well lit inside and air conditioned, and
We can make it solar powered.
and all of this just, teaming up with the various members of the Vanguard. And when we open the doors, Transit can say the way is open. And the doors to our church will always be open.
That, honestly, given that 2 out of the 4 of you are all about always being available and approachable, like, being able to say, yes, there are doors here for if they must be closed, but this church is always open to those who need it, and then Transit being like, the way is open? Boom. Like, yeah, I fucking dare close the door.
I may or may not have been inspired by a certain Roman god with that, but whatever.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. There's some similarities there. Transit is Janus. Kind of, not really.
So we just need to purchase some land, right? If
Fine.
we're gonna build,
Pretty much.
I was about to say, if we're just gonna build it ourselves,
that makes it very. That does really lower your guys' expenses for this whole thing a lot. So the question you have to decide is, Steeldale, where most of the facilities to help the disenfranchised and the poor are at, which is on the coastline, which would technically allow for an easier time for people from other places to pilgrimage to it, or do you put it in Emerald Brook, where it's closer to where Bindweed's compound was, where people there's a little bit more influence on Bindweed's clean environment stuff over in Emerald Brook simply because of proximity. And so, seeing as that place is like, it's a city pretty much built in the woods. They've been very.
Hey Matt, can you switch to the map?
Yeah, I guess. So, if I had to describe this, Emerald Brook what I'm trying to get at would be the aesthetic choice, right? It's not, some elven citadel or some shit where they build their buildings into the trees, but when they have those little islands of plants and whatnot going down the middle of the highway, it doesn't matter if there's only like 15 feet from one side of the freeway to the other. They're full of trees and ferns and whatnot. This was a city of people where their ideal outlook was, yeah, I have neighbors. I'm in a fairly busy neighborhood, but there's so many trees along the edge of my property and along the street that I don't ever have to fucking see them. Like, Emerald Brook is where Emily wishes she could live.
It's
What?
Western Washington.
Yeah. Well, okay, Cassie. Steeldale is Silverdale.
I know.
Sacratoma is it's Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tacoma. I get it.
yes. You guys just fucking churched the shit out of the Seattle Tacoma area. Point is, so Emerald Brook has the very green, very well contained aesthetic. Sacratoma probably, well, especially right now, has the safest streets out of any of them.
What you think, guys?
Put it in Emerald Brook. It is the central location.
True. And this
I like
way,
central places.
well, this way, if we put the first church in or near Emerald Brook, Bindweed can take better care of it since it's organic.
Well, I mean, I do have locations in the other two cities now as well. I could easily be in any place that I
Well,
need to
technically,
be.
so can I.
I'm just saying, for the you know, the only reason I'm saying it should be in Emerald Brook is because it is the central location. It is between the two other cities as well.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I know that most of Toby's stuff is based out of Steeldale, but yeah, that's central.
Okay.
I call the
Is that-
basement.
Hmm?
When we make this thing, I call the basement.
So here's what I want to have happen, because we've done a lot of discussion of stuff that's going to happen like over the course of 2 years. Some of these are very important things that if this were any other game, we would like be hardcore role playing out. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of these things are also going to be stuff that you guys are going to do time and time again over the course of your character's infinite existence. So I want a roll from each of you.
Okay.
Digger, because like I'm not gonna have you guys roll for the building of the thing, but what I want to know is like when you, let's see, who was giving the speech thing or whatever when you guys show up to build this first temple / church / citadel or whatever.
Mari, do you want it to be you or me?
Well, it would have been one of the four of us in god form or in demigod form.
Then, if you prefer, I can do it since I'm already.
At this point, you all would have, at least with exception to Digger. So, okay, Myriad, Bindweed, and Transit are all publicly known as, yes, these gods are directly in the area and trying to help our lives. The Tunnel Snake is known by his followers, like, for a fact to be in the area, but given that the other three are there, they're like, what you want to bet the Tunnel Snake is around here too somewhere? All right. But because he hadn't, literally surfaced, people like, okay, yeah, the Tunnel Snake is being a danger noodle somewhere else. Or not somewhere else, sorry. But doing it subtly. So people know that all four of you are around. They just know that three of you are.
Okay, I got you.
Digger's gonna
So-
walk around being like, he could be anywhere.
But getting back to the thing, who is doing the speeches when you guys get to the actual building of the thing?
I'm not as good as talking. I'm just good at doing.
Well,
Well,
and on that metric, Toby and Chloe are both rocking +4 rapports, so
charisma for days.
Don't make me pull a light. I'll do it.
People of Earth.
that's the floor.
No, he would literally pop up out of like a manhole and be like, "People of the surface, I come from a realm different and yet more awesome than your own."
From a universe similar but slightly more awesome than your own. Get it right, digger.
All right, so who's doing the talkie talk?
You know what? I'll let Emily,
Oh,
since
alright.
she's doing the lion's share of the building.
Alright, I guess I'm doing the talkie talk.
All right, so go ahead and make your rapport roll. Your target number is going to be a 3, and I want to know.
Wow.
Oh, hey! I mean, you did succeed with style, but you did succeed. So, how does this speech go before you start building?
Well, let's see. Okay. No. English, can you fucking do it? Can't think of the words.
Words are hard.
Yeah, words are hard. Shit. What the fuck just happened? I guess I don't need Roll20 for this. See if I can get back to that. Anyway, let's see. God damn it. Let's see, I guess,
No pressure or anything.
no, none at all.
I mean, to be fair, you can use a lifeline because I imagine that, given given Bindweed's personality, we'll go with that. Her preferences for problem solving. I imagine before this whole event, everybody sat down to be like, "All right, Bindweed, don't say these things."
These are words you want to avoid.
Do not greet them with "Hello, sacks of meat fertilizer." That is bad. They will not appreciate this.
Also, they don't appreciate listen up fuckers.
Meanwhile, she's sitting there with a friggin' notepad, like, yeah, I know, and she lines
But
through lines of the speech.
What about, all right, listen up, you assholes? Is that okay? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, not as bad as listen up fuckers. It's still not good.
No, I was thinking more something along the lines of like in effort to better reach the people of the, what do they call the area? Like the three cities, or is it just like the three cities? The Tri-Cities?
The Tri-City area?
No,
I know that's a real place.
it's not called the Tri-City area. I think we gave it a name, but for the life of me, I cannot remember. So it was that 90s place.
That 90s place.
Okay. And now I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Son of a bitch. Okay, so something like, in the effort to better reach the people of the 90s place.
Uh-huh.
My compatriots and myself are gifting you with this church as a place where you can come for aid, or simply to learn and grow.
Mm-hmm.
Any suggestions? Apparently not. I'm on my own. All right, then.
Hang on.
I don't know.
You go, Cassie.
No, I don't know.
Make the magic happen, Cassie. We need you. Help us, Cassie, one Kenobi. Help us, Cassie, one Kenobi. You're our only hope.
Cassie Nova.
Why?
Official Jedi name right now.
Though we are always with you in spirit, you can come here to be among us in person.
No.
I don't know if in person would be the correct.
Oh my god! So you guys can't be asked to just like come in a couple times a week and be yourselves. Rude.
I can totally do that. I'm totally good with this.
To receive the blessing of, I don't know.
The Vanguard? The Vanguard. Digger leans over Blindweed's shoulder and writes the Vanguard.
Something about fellowship with other believers or something like that.
To foster the fellowship among your fellow believers.
Place to learn and grow and foster the fellowship between your fellow believers. Yeah, that actually doesn't sound too bad.
Sounds acceptable.
Digger leans over and like writes with the pen again. For though we have are all different, we find common ground within our worship.
You're writing a speech for a person.
Underlines that twice.
Dear, I can't say that because I don't worship you or myself.
You don't worship me?
No,
betrayal.
we don't.
Betrayal.
Are you saying you
We're
worship
friends, Digger,
Bindweed?
but we're not that close.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Cassie?
Are you saying that you worship Bindweed?
I worship all of you as friends and allies. Thank you.
You are so full of it, Digger.
He pulls out little charms of all of their holy symbols that he just keeps in his pocket. Nope. See, got him.
Oh shit!
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Considering I don't have one, where'd you get that doorknob?
I was
I
gonna say, what are you
stole it.
talking about, holy symbol?
Well, remember that one time when
You pick up a twig and you're just like, totally her holy symbol?
Yeah, see? I have one for you. It's a tree. And I have one for transit. It looks like a portal.
And what is Myriad's? A calculator?
Well, she's innovation and design, not technology in
Oh,
general.
that's true.
That's
yeah.
X.
It's a series of gears. It's a series of gears soldered onto a silicon wafer.
I was gonna say, what is it? Like a tablet of graph paper?
No. Myriads is 3 interconnected gears on a circuit board.
It's not a think tank.
A brain in a jar? What? I could probably make a brain in a jar, but I'd have to get someone's brain.
No, I drew once a brain tank and labeled it think tank because I was really bored.
Like, are we talking like a Panzer? Because I'm just imagining like the front half of a brain coming up out the top of like a main battle tank with like an SS officer's hat on, and a little cutlass glued to the side of it.
No, the brain was literally the body of the tank. And it had like a cannon coming out of the front.
The intellect devour has upgraded.
I like my idea better because mine you could make a meme of where it's you got the brain coming out of a tank. It says, "Drive me closer. I want to hit them with my sword."
Yes, I like yours better as well. I'm just saying, like, that's not what it was because I wasn't that smart.
You're not that meme savvy. Smart is completely different. Let's be honest. Nothing about what I said was smart.
Anyway, so yeah,
SMR.
Digger has these 3 holy symbols, which apparently are theirs. Which he's made out of stuff that he's apparently gathered or stolen or just found in the trash. I don't know. But to answer Toby's question, he points, he goes, remember that one time we were at the Greasy Spoon and they were serving that chili? You know, that chili?
Yes.
Remember how I had to go to the bathroom after that?
You stole the doorknob.
It broke! And I wanted a souvenir.
Most people take pictures.
Well, obviously, it broke off in my hand. Of course it wanted to come with me. It was fate.
Right,
It's
sure.
fate.
Yeah, okay.
Roll credits. Because we're playing Fate. You just dropped the title card.
Does that mean we could roll campaign
joke.
aspect 5 every time we get a bad roll?
No, because that's the dice being fickle. Fate is separate.
But they're fate dice. Anyway, Digger leans back over bindweed and takes a hold of the pen again. No, he doesn't write anything.
We've gotten like way off topic.
Yep.
We do that.
So, scribble, 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 scribble.
Tell him that we're going to build the church, like, in 2 hours flat.
Into what?
In 2 hours flat.
Our slot?
2 hours flat.
Oh, 2 hours
Yes.
flat.
We're gonna build. I mean, okay, I know that there's that phrase of your body is a temple and all that jazz, but we're not gonna go have mass inside your vagina.
Oh my.
But if I make a cave and it looks like a vagina and I call it Bindweed's vagina, we could technically have mass in that vagina. Good night, folks.
Yep, that's it.
Oh,
Done.
That's not.
right, so Digger's out of the church. We're just done.
He's been excommunicated from the Vanguard.
These are the thoughts you have when you find out that you can sculpt the earth to look like anything.
Trying to get this back on topic at least a little bit. So, besides, okay, so you had a little bit of like, we are building this thing so that you all can come to this place and be part of yada 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 yada. Was there anything else that you guys were wanting to get into for that?
What do you mean?
Is there anything else you want to add to the speech?
Not that I can think of now.
Okay, so we're gonna do a few things here. We're gonna start with Emily. You're going to have, sorry, you're going to roll Bindweed's rapport to see how well the delivery of the speech goes.
Again?
Oh, right, yeah, you did that already because you rolled, yeah, got it. So, yeah, you succeeded, and then you guys went and built the temple. And so, what kind of response do you want people to have taken away from all this? Because that whole thing, you can define your own successes, or do you want me to just do it?
Yeah, I'm kind of new to this whole religion building thing. I'm not really sure what we should be trying to do here.
We're trying to make people like us. Which is why I'm not saying anything.
Aren't you the one that has the fucking aspect of ridiculously likable for a snake?
The forest snake part is also a keyword there.
It's not even your trouble.
Also, I did kind of cause an entire set of, vigilante terrorism to take place in this town. I'm not talking.
What are they gonna do? Arrest you? You're like a 15-foot long talking snake that bends the earth to his will. What are they gonna fucking do?
Well, thank you, crazy voices
He
in your
does
head.
kind of make some, somewhat of a point. Yes, we do want this to, we do want them to come away favorably from this. Like, we want them to actually believe that this is, in fact, yes, a gift for them. We've made them a church. They don't have to do anything. They don't expend their own resources or their own their own time, money, whatever.
Mhm.
And we also want to encourage people to actually come here. We
Mm-hmm.
want them to feel encouraged to actually be here. And I don't know.
See, you are good at
Anything
this.
else? Like any other thoughts about what we want, to impress upon them?
That we are doing this for the good of the city?
Okay, sure. I mean, I guess that does fit as a separate point. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're trying to do something good for the cities.
Mhm.
But I don't know. It's basically that it's a good place to come and contemplate their lives or something. I don't know.
No, you're on a good track there. You're on a good track.
Any other things anyone thinks we should be trying to impress upon them with this speech?
No, I think that's good. You too?
Okay then.
No, I think you were pretty solid, actually.
I mean, the other thing I could think of is trying to press upon it that the church is a safe haven, but I don't know if that's really something we need to stress.
That's true. That was something I did try to specifically mention in the speech. So yeah, it being a haven is a good thing to try to get in there as well.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on from that, simply because we're at this point. I think we're going to start beating a dead horse. So the church being established comes into being a thing because you guys probably did not all come out as being in the area all at once, but rather kind of staggered it. So one of you, Transit came out, and then Myriad came out, and then They're like, and we're gonna do this thing, and so you guys got the plot of land. It wasn't exactly going to be difficult because, frankly, but you have 3 gods that are walking the streets at that point. Somebody is going to get the idea of if we buy it for them, then they don't have to spend their stuff and so yeah, getting the land was not a problem because either you bought it for yourself or somebody was going to buy it for you. It wasn't going to matter. The church ends up being fairly successful fairly quickly because you have a whole lot of people you have spent 10 years very much incentivizing the or at the very least opening their eyes to the idea of, well, what if these gods were a thing and whatnot. And then Bindweed was walking around for like 2 years as a goddess. Hold on a second. Are you muted? So Bindweed was walking around for like 2 years where people were like, yep, that one's fucking real. And then the other 2 showed up and like, fucking goddamn it, she didn't make those ones up. So it's getting back to like what happened at Gauntlet Hold. There's a difference between the whole like I'm putting my faith in versus I just know that they are a thing.
Yeah.
Well, they already knew you, like they already had a good idea that you were a thing, and it started with a faith thing and all that jazz. And them, it's one of those fed into the other because you guys didn't just do it all at once. And so at this point, especially after all of this, and when the Earth itself starts reshaping as well to help build this. Actually, that begs the question: are you going to call it a church, a temple, a cathedral? What is this officially called? What is a building of the Vanguard gods called?
What is everybody else's thoughts?
Cassie's looking up synonyms.
Just types of churches.
Except a church is its own specific thing.
I don't know. I like the classic temple, but that's me.
Shrine.
Chantry.
Less a fan of shrine, but
I don't know. For me, like to me anyway, a shrine kind of. I like said it just to me anyway. It kind of implies like a small, little thing.
I feel like when I think of shrine, I think of like a little corner of somebody's house, like
Yeah, like a roadside shrine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Romans had shrines in their houses and stuff. That was kind of cool, but
Could always call it a sanctuary.
ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I was looking that up too. Yeah, I like sanctuary.
Sanctuary's good.
All right,
What?
so the Sanctuary of the Vanguard. So anyway, what I was getting at in the first place was when they see like the stone and dirt itself like parting out of the way and helping out with all of this, like bet you the fucking tunnel snake's doing stuff too. Like it's that whole thing of they don't know, but like, yeah, I think it's pretty logical to assume since we have 3 out of the 4 deities that they've been talking about a lot, and these guys have been the ones saying that the tunnel snake is also a thing in addition to the tunnel snake's own followers. So it's the danger noodle is probably a thing.
The moment someone says that out loud, a spiral staircase opens in the floor to a cavern below, and a single note on a piece of paper floats out that simply just says, "I call the basement."
Anyway,
God
so
damn it, Digger.
in general, I want to say that a lot of your guys' projects and efforts and whatnot are definitely being bolstered by this. Like the church, or not church, sorry, the school and whatnot, it gets way more applicants. It has a whole bunch of people that are offering more scholarships to it because it is, and even in the most cynical sense, like if somebody's like, yeah, whatever, I don't really give a shit, I'm just a businessman, it is too good of a opportunity for them to pass up, which does strengthen you all further. And so we'll say that like that the sanctuary itself is built, like, I want to say, we'll say like late in year 9. And so over the course of all of that and into year 10, just the shelters are like how you'd been having a hard time trying to get people to act as security for it. Like you're getting, you end up with somebody like one of your followers who, you know, being inspired by the fact that, oh, holy crap, the guy that I've been praying to is now actually here. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Because Digger and Transit both have been preaching a lot of this whole personal self-improvement, having a sense of agency over your life and trying to improve your life.
Mm-hmm.
Your followers organized themselves, went out, pretty much busted their ass, got enough capital together, and started their own security firm to run for these shelters.
Oh, nice.
You know, people, they're and they, like, part of their mission statement was something along the lines of like, or, you know, organizations that are explicitly, I don't want to say under the vanguard, but like and not projects of, but pretty much like the security firm as an example. They say these shelters, that school, that research business and whatnot, places where you know the tenets of the vanguard are held in a higher regard. Those are the places that will be our priority to keep safe because they are of our people. And so, like, they're off. It's the whole thing of like, yes, we do still need money to try and keep it going and whatnot, but like I mean, no two ways about it. A lot of what you guys have been trying to preach, you're creating a freaking social faction of socialists.
Yeah.
So they're trying to run this shit like at cost, and that's about it.
Wow.
So it ends up being very affordable. Like there's never going to be any revenue out of it, but you have an entire like section of your guys' worshippers that are just going out of their way to just keep stuff of this faith secure.
Nice.
Subsequently, Digger, your 10 Crusaders,
Yes.
you know, because you said you wanted them to keep things quiet, they and mellow, but when they go to whatever this place is where you had taught, you know, where you functionally have them based out of, it's a very short time later where they approach Digger and say, I know of more individuals who would join what we are doing. You know, these monsters have not been much of a problem in our area, but we know that is not the case everywhere in the world. And you know, they're going into this whole thing of like, it's, you know, it's not enough for just us to protect our people, but we need to, again, getting into your guys' teachings, help people, not just the ones that are on your side. Right?
Right.
So, like, yeah, and so all of you are getting a big surge in your followers and in a bunch of your different orders. Like the Pathfinder priests are, or Pathfinder preachers, or whatever we want to call them, are like, not only do you have the ones that you had already gotten before, but now that they have a central place to come to, you're getting more discourse between those that primarily follow transit and also primarily follow bindweed. You know, that discussion where the blatant hippiness of bindweed's followers is mingling with all of these other people, and just due to proximity. So in short, over the course of this 2 years, shit's good. Like, once you guys came out and you actually got that whole thing together and you just said, here, we're final nail in the coffin thing, as it were. That's a terrible phrase, word choice here, but moving on. You're not huge, but you guys are, and you guys are not the, I guess, you're not the state religion or anything. You're not even like the default thing being worshipped per se, but no one can say that the faith that you guys have now built is insignificant to this culture. It will be, at the very minimum, present for a long time.
Cool.
And especially after this, like, you guys feel like you feel good. Like, you're that spark of divinity inside of you. You feel good.
Guys.
Better than you have in a long time.
Guys. I need to go eat like 3 cheeseburgers.
How did I know you were going to bring up that goddamn diner?
Oh my goodness.
Are we going to the diner? We should go to the...
We should go to the diner.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to the diner.
Oh.
It's time to sicken that waitress again.
All right then, I guess.
Okay. So, you guys are at the diner. I'm assuming in your mortal guises instead of your divine forms.
Yep.
Right.
Cassie's really nodding.
Yep.
So, Josh, does this mean that now we get to have you order that giant travesty from last week that we said we were going to save later?
The grilled cheese?
The Taco Town taco?
Oh, the Taco Town taco.
Saturday Night Live inspired crunchy beef taco. Oh, sorry. Saturday Night Live inspired crunchy beef taco with nacho cheese, lettuce, tomato, and southwestern sauce, wrapped in a soft flour tortilla with a layer of refried beans in between. Then wrapped in a corn tortilla with a layer of Monterey Jack cheese and a deep-fried gordita shell with guacamole sauce, baked in a corn husk topped with God damn it, Jimmy! You need to learn to use some fucking punctuation. My lungs are not that.
I just copied and pasted, bitch.
Well, then we need to find who wrote this and fucking stab them. This is like 3 lines of just constant descriptor with no fucking period, just nothing but fucking commas. It's a taco in a taco in a taco in a pizza
In a
No.
pancake.
with a
I was
blueberry.
about to say, and a crepe
Oh, yeah?
and a corn husk.
In short, it's a fucking coronary on a plate.
Digger orders it and eats it.
Okay, so that's a thing. For those of you at home, if you want to see, I'm not going to post this on Roll20 because that would get flagged for something. Taco Town Taco.
War crime
Just look at
trial.
Saturday Night Live, Taco Town Taco. You will probably find a picture. When you feel the urge to gag, that's it.
And you're welcome.
And it's Jimmy's fault.
So Digger walks in and goes, "Hey, do you got that chili from last time? No chili from last time. What do you got this time? Taco Town Taco. What's in it? Oh,
Everything.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
Jameson, why? Why?
And it's different. And it's I do want to say it's a different waitress this time. I'm sorry.
Well,
Aw.
it has been a decade. She probably needed to get on with her life.
That's true.
Or she spent every day of her existence praying you would never come in and just finally just said, fuck it.
Nah, she saved up and now she owns the place. She doesn't have
So here's what I want to know. The context of the discussion at the moment. Right? What is the context of the discussion? The church has been built, things are going really well. You guys are having a night of just chilling. Well, rather, Digger is chilling. Everyone is trying to ignore Digger's digestive habits.
I feel like we are actually probably discussing where the old waitress went. Like, it feels like something we would actually be doing.
Yeah, it's not tradition anymore because she's gone.
Okay. So the lady that brings Digger his heresy, down. Here's part of the conversation. She's like, "I'm sorry, who were you asking about?"
Oh shit. Did
What's her
anybody
name?
remember her name?
I don't think Matt ever came up with a name for this woman.
I did not. I did not provide one. Well, okay, let me correct that. I came up with one. I did not provide it.
Okay. Well, there we go. What was her name?
What was that?
I said, what was her name?
I'll talk about it later. You guys continue the conversation.
What?
I'm trying to do a thing, damn it. Just do the thing.
But the waitress
Your
asked us who
characters
we were
don't know.
talking about.
Exactly. You don't know her name. Your characters
But
don't.
she would have been wearing a name tag, and every time we came in there, we would see that name
This
tag.
is a little dive diner. It was covered. She had to keep bringing Digger food. It was probably covered in something disgusting. She had to shower every time she got home from that shift.
We don't know. Her name tag was always covered. We just assumed her name was Beef Gravy.
Yeah. Like, let's be
Okay.
honest. Every time you guys came in, you brought Jameson with you. Do you think she wanted you to know her name?
After the third
Also-
time, you know she took her name tag off.
Digger launches into a partially full mouth description of the woman.
Oh no! Well, we're never gonna get this waitress's name either.
Well, okay, so the waitress that you have is like, visibly appalled. Like every time he has to like smack his lips because of the cheese and like the crepe thing and all that jazz. Like she like kind of recoils a little bit. Like you can tell she's trying so hard to stay professional, but she's just like, nope, just
Oh,
trying
no,
to.
it's okay. Make that face. You can make that face. Even if Jameson gets offended, we won't tell anybody. We won't tell anybody.
I'm not gonna get offended.
Anyway,
Yeah, I didn't think you would.
So here's how this goes. So she, after the descriptor, or partway through the description, she's like, no. I mean, she had a leave of absence. I mean, she said it was like, I don't know, like some sort of family issue or some such. But she's been on a leave for like most of the year.
What?
Yeah.
Did she say why?
I mean, I was only hired after she left, but I saw her a few times when I was going through my training weeks. But yeah, I was initially hired to be temporary, but depending on how her family thing goes, I might be here permanent as permanent hire.
Well, that's extremely upsetting.
I'm sorry. I mean, were you?
Not that you're bad or anything, just we get used to seeing the same person when you go somewhere.
She is no longer surprised by my antics.
Yeah, what was her name?
Oh, her name was Serena.
Okay.
Fuck you.
I mean, do we got a last name? Like,
I'm not sure I'm supposed to give a last
I know
name.
that's probably weird, but
Yeah.
she was kind of our waitress for a long time, and we'd like to send some good wishes or something.
I'll tell you what. I'll have my shift manager come over here and he can talk to you about it.
All right, that's fair.
And so then she kind of walks away, making sure to avoid looking at Digger.
And Digger continues eating, unsurprised by this reaction.
Okay. So anyway, she walks away. So where's the conversation go now?
Ladies and gentlemen, we done good. I dedicate this feast to us.
Thank you for this food abomination.
Right. Well,
you didn't have to eat it,
I mean, it is kind of tradition at this point. I don't know.
Yes, we have done good.
We
yeah,
have
I mean, that's true.
Bindweed has to clear her throat. I'll stop.
What?
Just there was that pause, and then you cleared your throat. Like that's.
So what's next?
I don't know, honestly. I mean, should we keep working in the community for a while? Maybe expand to specifically to the other two cities, and then from there, I don't know. We take the show on the road. Find somewhere else.
I was going to take the show on the road a little bit earlier than that. I mean, pilgrimage is one of the things I set down as a central tenet.
It's not like we can't come back. Just make sure that, we have true, followers rather than just those who are, worshipping because they see us.
Well, for us to go anywhere else, we would have to. You and Imari would have to take sabbaticals with our human forms.
I have to go and fold laundry.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, that's true. You guys would need to take sabbaticals.
Yeah. I can just leave, as long as I make it back yearly to bless the crops. Don't wanna leave them hanging.
I mean, technically, I technically wouldn't really have to take a sabbatical. I would just need to know where you guys were going. Since I can just go through doors.
Yeah, and I can just walk through trees, so it's not that big of a deal.
So, you know how you all have, like, a mental image of when somebody says, like, greasy Boston restaurant manager?
No.
Like, really portly dude, white t-shirt stretched way too far over his gut. There's probably mustard and grease stains somewhere all over it.
Okay, sure.
I wouldn't say that image is strictly from Boston, but
way too much oil in his hair and a trilby on.
Was that about a comb over?
But
No, not a comb over. Like, it's all slicked back with way too much grease in it, and the back of his head's all super curly, and he's got a trilby on.
Oh, okay.
So that's who walks up?
This is the atrocity that walks up to you.
Okay.
So, my waitress told me that you were asking about one of my prior waitresses.
Serena, yeah.
Yep. Well, I just because I was told that you had mentioned that yes, you were just customers. You didn't know her personally or anything. I asked her if she was okay with me letting people know what's going on, and yeah, she said, and she actually said specifically, you guys were okay talking to just a couple other people. So if you would like, I can let you know what was going on.
Please do.
We'd appreciate that.
Digger's halfway through
The short version is she found out she was adopted.
All right.
And she had to travel quite a ways to try and figure out what was going on. But she should be back sometime within the next few weeks. And if you like, I can pass your guys' contact information her way. And that way the ball is in her court.
Mm, sure.
I don't know what's going on with her, so I can't guarantee she's going to be coming back to work yet. She might not want to.
Well, my name's Toby Monroe. I run the Monroe Foundation.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah. So if she
Well,
needs any help, let me give you my card.
Oh, now I know I recognize you. Ah, that's awesome of you. And he like, you know that person that obviously is just not paying attention to how hard they squeeze when they smack you on the shoulder and squeeze it.
Uh-huh.
He does that.
Okay.
And he takes the card and he sticks it in his shirt pocket. So obviously puts a lot of things in the shirt pocket because there's not a ton in there right now. It's just stretched out, and obviously some of the things that he's put into that pocket have leaked.
Gross.
It doesn't take much to imagine that this is the guy that keeps coming up with the dishes that Digger eats.
Right. I mean, he just got done making the Taco Town taco, so of course he's going to look disgusting. I mean, I'm sure there's other reasons why he looks disgusting, but I'm just going to chalk it up to the Taco Town taco. But yeah, I'll just hand him my card and let him know that if she needs anything, that she can feel free to call me.
Whether you wanted to or not, he shakes your hand.
That's
like,
fine.
All right, I'll make sure to pass that along. You guys enjoy a meal today. Well, he looks over Digger's plate.
Don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. It's okay.
All right. Well, you guys have fun. If you need anything else, just feel free to holler. I'm a fan of taking care of our regulars.
All right. Thanks
nom,
much.
Nom, 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 nom. Digger's like 3/4 the way through the taco.
Even the guy that made it is disgusted. Mario and Purell.
Did Purell not exist in the 90s?
I don't think
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't know if Purell existed in the 90s. We have to figure this out. Hold on. Let's see.
Hold on. Yeah.
Purell. Google. I need you. Gee. $1996.
Wow.
Well, there you go then.
I swear,
Eric.
too many handshakes with that guy, he's gonna become a germaphobe.
Anyway, so the guy steps away a little bit. He's walking along in front of the little, bar counter. I don't freaking know what you would call that, but he kind of stops as he's actually walking up by the door, and he looks out, and he just kind of waits there, and you guys have an interesting feeling.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
You remember that whole you can feel another divine thing?
Yeah.
You feel another divine thing, but it's again, it's odd. You're the moment you feel it, how to put it? It's not static like the Prophet of Freedom was. It's really not. But you feel like it's like it would be the same frequency, but it's actually like a clear, consistent signal, I guess. I'm really bad at describing shit this week. God damn it. But do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, it's the same flavor, but this one is like somebody got the flavor right.
It's like us, but in high definition.
Yes. And when you look out the window, you see Serena walking up to the door, opening it, smiling at the manager, shaking his hand. He points over to you guys. She goes, she says something to him, and it's like, makes some hand gesture, like, oh yeah, okay. And she comes walking over, pulls a chair over, sets it down next to you, says, and she's obviously just not even surprised at Digger's antics. In fact, like, the smile on her face when she looks over across at all of you, it doesn't even waver when it gets to Digger. She just it's almost like she kind of expected it. It's like,
Oh, she gets nostalgic now whenever you eat gross shit.
Yeah.
somewhat. I mean, can't say that I didn't see it coming.
Of course you did.
Digger takes the last big bite of the Taco Town taco, throws it up in the air, catches it in his mouth, and goes, "The Stockholm syndrome has set in."
Well, no, I mean, oh, sweetie. No, I mean, I was being somewhat literal there.
Yeah, I remember this feeling, only this time it's not fucked up.
Yeah, I've been looking into that. And I'm sorry, because I know that you guys don't know who I am. I'll be honest, I didn't either. But I know what you guys did. I'm just not sure quite yet how it mattered. But I know who you all are.
Oh?
And she just kind of nods, and she's looking at Toby like, yes. And she's very slowly nodding her head in a almost like that circular nod. And she's looking at you. I know for a fact that you felt it.
Yeah, I felt it.
Out of character? Giggity.
Son of a whore! Well, that
The hell was that?
That was my text message alert.
You have the best text message alert? Please tell me that is your tone for Darby.
Actually, it's my tone for Josh.
Wait, did I text you?
No, I was checking the tones for somebody else, because I have tones for individual tones for everybody.
At this point, I'm curious to find out what mine is.
Honestly, you hardly ever text me, so I don't set it.
Cassie, you're muted.
I'm only curious what mine would be.
I don't know. I mean, well, we're getting off topic, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time. I'll play various ones that I have at another point.
Okay. But anyway, so she's sitting there, and she kind of puts her right ankle up on her other knee, and is kind of leaning back in her chair. Yes, so I know. Yeah, you felt as I was coming here, but well, I guess the short version is right now you can call me Serena Chase.
Hmm. Sure. Right now.
Hmm.
Like right now, I'm Chloe Willows.
And right now I'm Toby Monroe. Yes.
I'm Jameson Jeffries.
Mari?
Pleasure to meet you. So I know the last time that you had somebody randomly show up, it was a little bit awkward and weird, and I apologize because I know I'm probably not doing much better. But and similar to what it told you, I'm not I'm not going to be here to mess with anything. But unlike that thing, and when it said it just wanted to watch, I'm here to actually try to help because I know that there's going to be some things that I'm still trying to make sense of. I guess the short version here is I'm willing to help you all out if you're willing to help me figure out what's going on. Toby,
Well,
can I see your
I-
card?
what's that?
Toby, can I see one of your cards?
Sure.
So she takes it, she pulls a pen out of her shirt pocket, and she writes on the back of it, and then she hands it back over. And it has a different name and a title underneath it. And it's on roll 20.
Right.
Cassie's over there fucking clapping and giddy as a fucking schoolgirl.
She hasn't started hitting on Digger yet. What's wrong here?
I know, right?
Did just eat the giant taco of fucking death.
Well, that is fair.
And you know, she still has the memory of a decade of watching him eat gross shit.
But by now, you know,
But I'm guessing this is a Vanguard character from
Kind
the
of.
Hero Society.
Yes.
an NPC that wasn't in the Vanguard proper, but was definitely a helper.
She was
Oh, okay.
She was Interpol.
Yeah. We fought her.
She kicked their ass.
You certainly did. But no, what I was going to say is, but by this point she knows that, you know, Digger eating this, it's not really going to affect him.
Yes. But no, just my joke of when he was eating, she said that she saw it coming. Does it come full circle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
Anyway, so yeah, that's what it says on the back of the card that she hands to Toby.
Okay.
I want to see.
I'll pass it around to the others.
That's why it's new.
Why does
So
this
that-
name feel familiar?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Digger, Bindweed. When you both look at her divine name, you know that name, but you don't remember a damn thing about it.
Just those two.
Well, Myriad never really
Myriad
met her.
never met Kagna.
I thought she did later, or at least she saw her on video.
Yeah, what were you saying, Josh?
I said, yeah, Myriad kind of never met Precogna. If I remember right, every single time that it was involved, it was pretty much Digger being the sole point of contact because that's just, I was the only one with her number.
It wasn't that kind of relationship, Jimmy. I mean, no, it really wasn't. Everybody probably would have thought it was.
All I know is that Myriad knew who she was and everything because of the files that she read through in an instant.
Yeah, knew who she was, but had never met her in any significant way.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, Digger, Bindweed, you recognize that name. You know that name. But you can't remember a goddamn thing about it, and know that that is wrong. And at that response, Emily, she looks at Bindweed and she just like kind of holds her hands up like shoulder height or whatever, and like an almost a shrug. She's like, I know what you mean. And she like starts pointing at Bindweed's face. That's my problem.
Her face is your problem?
No,
I
that kind of
swear
face.
to God.
I was making that face.
Swear to Mom?
Which one?
Never mind. The important one. Don't tell my other mom I said that.
Black.
Ooh, I'm telling.
So I want to point out that the last thing that was said about Precogna in the Vanguard chat was me saying that Digger didn't even get to say goodbye to her.
Well, Digger didn't get to say goodbye to anyone, really. He kind of jumped into Death Ball.
He kind of pulled a "remember me as I lived." But that's besides the point. So yeah, Bindweed's all and Precogna points at her like that. That is what my problem is. That feeling that I had that look on my face for about a week.
I mean, I feel like I know you, but I also know that I don't know you at all. I don't know what's going on right now.
I don't know either.
Wait,
But-
you mean you possibly have met before?
Well, no, that's
Except we haven't.
impossible.
Well,
Toby. Okay, this is going to sound very obtuse and very weird, and I apologize for that because I'm still trying to figure this nonsense out, but and she drops her volume down quite a bit as she continues from here. Serena Chase existed before you all met the Prophet. Precogna didn't. I have all of the memories of Serena, but I also lived my entire life as Serena until when the Prophet vanished, I became Precogna. But at the same time, I have memories of being Precogna from before I was born as Serena at the same time as I was Serena. But the problem is Precogna wasn't anywhere. She just was. She didn't exist, and I don't know how to make any sense of this, and I need help. And the biggest problem, the thing that terrifies me the most right now, is that I know it's going to happen again.
How many times?
That's the part I'm not certain of, but I know it's going to happen at least once. And that's the problem. I feel like what I've seen, once it hits that point, I can't see past it. And what it pertains to, I can't figure out what it is, because it's like us, but it's not. It's something more, somehow more primal than what it is we represent, even. And I don't know how to be sure of that. It's like when I look at what has to be dealt with at that point where I can't see any further. It looks, it feels like a fairy tale at that point. And whatever it is, it keeps haunting me for the last year. And I see a whole bunch of stuff between now and then, but all of it is so incredibly unimportant, but has to happen to get there. I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't. And at this point, she seems like, obviously, like she's really flustered. Like she's probably spent most of the last year trying to figure out how to describe this thing, and she's no closer to being able to actually articulate it than she was on day one.
And somebody needs to give her a hug.
Not really. Like she's not that kind of upset. This is more of a frustrated upset. I mean, this is precognitive. She's probably not opposed to a hug.
Well, I think we need to table this for a less public location.
Are we gonna head out the door?
I with the faith at the level that it's at, could we exit the front door and come out like in the apartment?
You want people to know that you're transit?
No.
Then probably not.
Damn it. Okay.
I mean, you're gonna walk out the front door. That's gonna be kind of blatant when you like step through it and you're just not there anymore.
There are other doors.
What are you gonna do? Walk into the broom closet and suddenly disappear?
I would
meant-
suggest the bathroom.
We all just climbed out the window.
Well, I wasn't even gonna say the bathroom. I was just like,
The kitchen door.
we could go toward another location, go into the alley, and then disappear through random door in alley.
That's true. We can do that too.
That's what I was thinking.
Everyone follow me.
Can the tunnel snake make a door underground?
Well, I can just open a portal in a back alley if nobody's there.
True. But as you guys are stepping out of the place, Precogna puts a hand on Toby's shoulder. You told Mike that you were going to pay for Digger's food.
I was gonna pay before I left. I'm not gonna be a rude ass and say, "All right, let's go." I mean, God, he has my card. He knows who the hell I am. Of course, I'm gonna pay.
I just, as the GM, I just felt like it'd be a thing Precogna would want to make sure of because it's just you just found out that there's now a fucking scion of fate that doesn't have a fucking parent.
I'm a little scared to find out what would happen if she died.
Hmm?
Well, like, we know what happens when we die.
Oh, yeah.
So, Digger takes everyone to the back alley behind the diner.
And I open a portal to take us to the apartment.
If there's nobody there.
If there's nobody there.
Well, you guys have done a lot of work, cleaning out the transients, so yeah, there's probably nobody there. I mean, eventually, like, let's be honest, eventually you'll find an alley.
Yeah.
So you open up a portal, you step through it, you're in the middle of the apartment. Precogna, I guess, comes through last or whatever.
I would probably go through last.
Right. Well, whatever.
Either way, doesn't matter. So everybody's in the apartment.
Don't worry about the tingling feeling or any numbness. It goes away soon.
I will be right back.
I also must BRB for the moment.
Well, damn it.
There's two of us. We can talk to Precogna. It's okay. It's like, here, I'll give you the grand tour of the place.
This is the apartment that we pretend to live in.
I don't think any of us even pretend to live in it anymore.
I know, it's really just there as a clubhouse.
Because after so many years, I mean, I think even Digger tends to live in his tunnels.
Actually,
This is our meeting place, really.
I think Toby would probably end up living here then. Because I don't think he'd stay at the orphanage.
As an aspiring politician, would he not, like, look for a house to, like, kind of boost the economy and stuff? I don't know.
Well, so far he's just been schmoozing. He hasn't really tried running for office yet. Because Jimmy is scared that Matt is going to make him perform a speech.
Public speaking!
And Jimmy no good at public speaking.
Anyway. I know, by this point, I know Myriad's probably purchased a house or gotten a better place or something. She kind of has a lot of money.
Yeah, and all of Toby's money. That's why I think Toby's kind of stayed in the apartment, because most of his resources have been going to expanding. And I don't like that Matt rolled and we didn't, and he hasn't said anything yet.
I was giving the grand tour of the apartment. This is the bathroom. This is Toby's room.
I return.
And Digger, do you ever even stay here anymore?
She just looks over. So Serena just looks over at Mari and just says, "You don't want to know the things he's done in this apartment."
I knew that. I knew that I didn't want to know. I mean, that's obvious. Have you not seen the amount of gross things that he is?
Hey,
That was
I'm
funny.
right here.
What are we talking about? What did Digger do this time?
We're talking. I guess we're talking about Digger's reprehensible diet
Oh, yeah.
of Taco Town tacos and pimps.
I don't
think
eat
Digger-
the pimps.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Digger ate any of the pimps. They all went
Fine, we did
to
that.
the forest.
I
The
don't even want to know
trees
what
ate them.
slanders you people are speaking. I am innocent.
No, Mari
That's
was just
funny.
Mari was just giving a tour of the apartment, and we were trying to figure out who all is actually staying in the apartment now. And so far, we've come up that Toby's probably the only occupant.
I sleep on the couch sometimes.
I know you keep your pizza rolls here.
Those gross pizza rolls.
Actually, those pizza rolls aren't bad.
Not bad.
Okay, that's a Jimmy comment because Jimmy can't eat the pizza rolls.
You
So-
also should not check the fourth drawer underneath the sink.
Yeah, I really
What
don't want to see what
is
kind of
in the
porn you
fourth
keep.
drawer under the sink?
Surplus firearms.
Oh.
Don't let the cops ever check the fourth drawer underneath the sink.
I was gonna say, why wouldn't
are
we
there
want to
drawers
look in
under
there?
the sink? Anyway, so Jimmy, the pizza roll thing is a definite carryover from all of the characters who were in Vanguard.
Oh, okay.
Digger was a college student. Guess what he ate a lot of?
He built a throne out of them and then buried it under the ground so that no one could eat them.
Well, it's your fault for giving him an entire warehouse pallet of pizza rolls.
That was Mari.
That was his Christmas present.
Yeah, that was Mari. I had fun with that. She got everyone a Christmas present.
I liked that session. Like, okay, we'll get into that later. But moving on. So Precognitive is kind of standing there, like just looking at everybody talk back and forth about these pizza rolls. And she's just smiling, just shaking her head slowly. They're all just adorable.
Digger blushes.
Thank you.
I mean, for some reason, I feel like you don't mean that the way I really like you to.
At which point she kind of raises an eyebrow and smiles wider, but doesn't say a word.
On that note, I think that Blue Bindweed, Digger, and Precognitive need some alone time to sort out their feelings.
I
don't
don't
know,
think
feelings
I don't
have
think
to do with it. You know.
I don't think we need a load time right now. Like that seems like it's going a little far.
Yeah, she just kind of clears her throat and says something along the lines of, "So, just for the sake of clarity, I did want to show you this, because I know what you all really look like, but..." And then just there's no fanfare, there's no pop, no nothing. She just goes from being being Serena to suddenly Precogna is standing there at like 8 foot tall and just hovering, like just floating a couple inches above the ground.
Minion, no, that is not a chewable thing.
Banana.
No, that was a $60 book. No, Minion.
And Teen Titans isn't a thing in this universe.
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't.
I've been like, holy Raven Batman.
Oh my.
Anyway.
Just nod and smile and be like, that is good.
So, I assume that you guys are going to be working on just trying to keep this new church or this faith that you have all built well grounded for a few years.
Yeah,
probably.
and probably try and help Precogna in any way we can.
She was asking that. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
So, I know. I was thinking of sending some of my people out to spread the good word and pilgrimage across the lands.
So sending out people to spread the faith further.
Hey, Matt, in the area that we're in, is it just the 3 cities, or are there like neighboring towns and like villages and such?
Less villages, because villages would be like less than a couple hundred people. But yeah, like there are small, relatively unimportant towns.
Okay. Well, I know that Digger talked about expanding and
Sorry.
and Emily, you said you wanted to as well
Wanted to what? Sorry.
expand.
Oh, yeah, obviously. But, like, that's a long-term goal. It's nothing we necessarily need to worry about right now.
All right, I'm fine with just building the building up the church and whatnot here first. And I'm always keeping an eye on the ring, on any activity that's going out there.
Mm-hmm.
Or not the ring, but the spire that connects the world to the ring.
There is no spire. It's just the ring goes on into the world on 2 sides.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, where the ring connects with the planet, that's where I'm near us. I'm gonna keep my eye out on that.
Okay. Alrighty. So I guess is there anything else that you guys want to hit in character tonight or in session?
So, Precogna,
Hmm.
you mentioned not being able to see forward a certain amount, right?
Yes. There will be another point where you run into something similar to that prophet from before. I can't tell what it is. I'm not certain, but I can't see past dealing with that.
Do you have any glaring holes in your memory of the past, though?
She seems to be mulling it over, like she's not entirely certain how to answer. I never really remembered much of my childhood as Serena, and like I said, well, Precogna just kind of, she spontaneously existed, and I am Precogna. Once the prophet left, but everything before that, Precogna was just a thought. But I guess without, I mean, I apologize because it sounds more poetic than informative, I guess, but it's like, I guess, was a thought without form, kind of a thing. It doesn't make any sense. So no, I don't remember anything as Precogna before I became her.
Or is Serena's fine? I don't know. There's something that happened 12 years ago now that still bothers me to this day.
What?
I don't know. I mean, I was like 10 at the time. I don't really remember much before then.
Digger looks over at Bindweed. Remember, we woke up in a prison and we still to this day have no idea why we were there.
Oh, right, that thing.
I don't know. That sort of glaring hole bugs me.
The day with the monsters?
Yeah.
I mean, didn't we basically figure out we got really drunk, fought some monsters, and
they thought we were monsters?
Well, that's what we assume, but we never really found out for sure. Like, no one ever told us why we were there, what we were doing. We just kind of assumed that based off of, well, stuff we had in our pockets and our own, what we'd normally be doing there. But no one ever really told us. I don't know. It's something that's bugged me even now.
Alright, I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Most people I asked it to give us the same face that Precogna is right now, so. Anyway.
We're also in a completely different era.
That's true. But yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to ask. And Digger goes and flops on the couch.
Alright, well, I guess I need to go figure out what I'm gonna do for myself for now.
What do you mean?
I still haven't decided on if Serena is just gonna disappear or not.
I suppose it's a fair question.
Well, you still have plenty of years left on the identity. People won't notice for quite a while that you're not aging.
I know. I have to come to terms with the fact that Serena is what you said. An identity.
I mean, does this really have to be? Like, you could at least try to be Serena full time and maybe just Precogna part time. I mean, obviously you can't deny it completely, but you know, it is up to you.
But I know I have too much to do as Precogna. I have too many important things to do and things that, I mean, you four are all fairly self-reliant and such, but I know for a fact that they're, even if I'm not certain on what they are yet, there are things that I have to do.
Well,
Or there will be massive consequences.
I can kind of help you out if you need to.
With what?
I think we're all willing to help.
Resources,
And
travel if you need it.
She floats a few more inches off the ground a little bit. I appreciate that, but that's not the important thing I have to work on at the moment. But at least now that I know where you all pull up at least periodically, I have a feeling I'll be able to just know when you're gonna be here. So I'll be around, and when you need some help, I'll pop in. But for now, I'm gonna go try and figure out what I'm going to do.
well, if you need help, don't hesitate to talk to us.
And she nods. She walks over and she gives Toby a hug and gives Mari a hug and
Yay.
gives Bindweed and Digger each a hug and a kiss on the cheek.
Nice.
Digger blushes.
And then as she opens the front door to the apartment, because I'm assuming it wasn't blessed to be, the
No.
way it.
No.
She opens the door and like just shimmers for a second and vanishes from sight, and then closes the door behind her as she leaves. And I mean, I think unless you guys have something else, I think with that we're probably good to call it a night.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have anything anyway.
Yeah, I don't have anything either.
I don't think I have anything either.
Okay. Cassie.
Oh,
All right. Well, then, it's fairly low key night for the Scions of Tomorrow, but some important shit getting dropped. And we will see what it is Precogna has seen. But for now, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
right.
Good night, everyone.
Dancing bears, painted wings, things I almost remember, and a song someone sings once upon a December. Someone holds me safe and warm. Horses prance through a silver storm, figures dancing gracefully across my memory. Far away, long ago, glowing dim as an ember, things my heart used to know once upon a December. Someone holds me safe and warm. Horses prance through a silver storm, figures dancing gracefully across my memory. Far away, long ago, glowing dim as an ember, things my heart used to know, things it yearns to remember, and a song someone sings once upon a December.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the end of the first chapter of Scions of Tomorrow. Go ahead and shut us down, Josh.